Good evening, good evening, YouTube. This is Kaylin String coming at you with my regular Sunday night dinner, and I am getting into this behemoth. So I'm going to go ahead and just I'll cut this open right at the seal. Of course, I will lose the handle in the process, but at least I'll have a clean cut. It wasn't quite a clean cut all the way across, but let's see. I could put my cat inside that bag. So inside this box, I'm actually giving a good look over the box just to make sure there's no leaks or anything like that, and so far that all looks good. And this is not hinged, I just lift the whole thing up. So this is kind of a flimsy box, so I'm just going to put the bottom inside the top. There we go. Now I'm going to show you everything that is in here. Gusseted pouches. Some of these will repeat themselves. So if you look on the back, it has suggested meals for the 3 days. So obviously I'm not going to be doing numerous videos on all of these things. So we got chicken pesto parmesan. So there is another one of these. Spaghetti and meatballs and sauce. So we got 2 of those. We got 2 beef chili with beans. So you would alternate between these 3 entrees for your lunch and supper. And this is the same instant granola cereal with latte that has been in their kits before. So there's 3 of these. So this would be your breakfast. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 whole wheat tortillas. and you get 6 sporks. Why I guess they expect you to save one throughout. You know, since this is a 72-hour kit, it's supposed to be 3 days of food. But you only get 6 sporks instead of 9. But that's okay because I won't be using any of these anyway. And you get 3. This is that same apple grape jam as before. This jelly. So this has not changed. But this is new. This is a Grand Canyon bar. So they call this a meal replacement bar. But you could have this as part of your breakfast or as a snack. So you get 3 of these. And you get 6 of these flameless ration heaters, which includes the water pouch in each one. So these have not changed. So I will not be preparing this. So I will take out one of these, and I will take out one of these Grand Canyon bars. I'll take out one of the tortillas. So, as usual with these, I was hoping that they would include a drink option, but no drink option of any kind. I think they need to change that. They need to put some kind of a cold drink powder or coffee or tea or something like that in this. I'm going to set that way back there. So you really don't get a whole lot of food with this. So let's see. First, we're going to see who's here. There's Cliff. There's CT. There's Mike. There's spicy tuna rolls. Tracy Phillips is here. There's Enfos is here. I'm going all the way back to the beginning just to see if I missed anybody. Looks like that's it as far as who's in here. Dang, I can't shrink that. I used to be able to shrink that, but I can't do that. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig from my stash for a drink mix. I did get I got 2 of the ice sports drink powders in that IMP. I could grab one of those. Or I could get that grape drink that I got from that Hero Ration. I'll figure out drink options, and then I'll look at the chat, and when I come back and see what you decide. Yeah, I raided my stash. I got a French coffee. And I just put my own creamer and sugar in it. Okay, I'm going to scroll back. And Marilyn is here. Thanks for dropping in. So I'm giving everybody a choice as to what the entree will be. It will either be the chicken parmesan, it'll be the spaghetti, or the chili. There's 2 of each in this pack, so obviously I'm only going to be doing 1 of each. Yeah, this is the chicken pasta parmesan. Long ingredients list. So this is 1 ounce bigger than the standard mil-spec entree, which is 8 ounces. So you get, I mean, in a perfect world, if you get every milligram of food out of here, you would get 1 ounce more. Again, these are gusseted pouches, so if you have to eat out of this pouch, but with those small sporks, you know that's not going to be hard. That's not going to be easy. I mean, even my 4 and MRE spork is too short. But if the so if more of you said the Parmesan, I didn't see a whole lot of people making their mind up, but at least I think these are new entrees that they've done. Oh, that's a crapper, Marilyn. I guess someone else will have to eat them for you. The meatballs are probably about the size of a very small grape. So I will just set these back into the box. And I will go put this in the water to heat up, because obviously I'm not going to be using the ration heaters, because I would rather save them for a day when I absolutely have to use one than to waste them. Even though I have quite a number of them, I'd still rather save them all, as many as I can. But anyway, I'll go put this in the water to boil, and then I'll bring back the water for my coffee, and I'll be right back. Ooh. Ouch. So I'm glad you're back home, which is the best place to recover. You don't have to worry about getting poked and prodded in the middle of the night. So I really do hope you get well soon and you can get back to as close to a normal life as you can. So I'm gonna, so these are apple cinnamon. These are all the same flavor. And it's hard to see it, but there's their company logo down there. It'd be hard to see that, but this is nutritional stuff on this bar. It's probably similar to a lot of those other meal replacement bars. That may be something that might not taste like you're eating a giant vitamin. I can definitely smell the cinnamon. I'm just using a Walgreens bag as my trash bag instead of this big thing. What I will do is I will store everything in the box just to keep some weight into it, and then next time I get into it, unless I just use this bag for the thumbnail next time, I could just do that. But it looks like a Nature Valley granola bar on steroids. Since I have my scissors out to cut open the big bag, I'm just cutting everything open with them just because I feel like cheating. No oxygen absorber in with the tortilla. And unlike US MRE tortillas, you only get the one, or MRE Star you get two, or no, you get three in an MRE Star, but they are a bit shorter, they're a bit smaller. Well, CT, you know what I have? I have a name for that place. I call it Taco Hell. I will not go there anymore because it's just crap. I mean, Taco John's is a bit better. But if I want a fast food taco, I'll go to Tasty Tacos. I'll stick with them. Yeah, that is the apple grape jelly in the tortilla, which is going to split. I'm okay with that. I'm just giving my ice drink another mix, and that seems to have pretty much all dissolved. Yeah. Canadian drink powders do mix up better than the U.S. drink powders that are the full sugar kind. The sugar-free ones obviously mix better because there's a lot less powder. You don't have that sugar to dissolve, but These mix a lot better. I have never had a Costco chicken pot pie. Costco is a little too far away from my liking, but I get some stuff from Costco by someone who brings it to me. So I have had a few other offerings. Plus, we have gotten stuff from Costco to use at the mosque. Which was a big help during Ramadan. Plus, we got stuff at Sam's Club from there, for use during Ramadan. I just don't feel like walking several blocks from the bus stop to go to Costco, especially if I'm going to be coming back with something that's just, you know, able to go through the door of a bus. Well, CT, I think you might have to go into Alaska. Just for the heck of it. Or at least while you're there doing a freight run, just take a little side trip and go explore a tiny bit. Oh, I think it'd be fun to fish in Alaska. You talk about catching big muskies and pikes and walleyes. I'm gonna go get the entree out of the water and I'll be right back. I am back. The label seems to have stood up pretty well to the boiling. I got a paper towel to dry it off, so it's a lot easier to handle. Sometimes these paper labels that are stuck on these pouches literally boil right off the pouch. Food it stops way down there. So if someone wanted to eat this in the field, if they had to take a knife, cut this down, and then you could use that little spork, but because I'm putting it on my tray, I don't have to bother with that. Well, let's see what they do with the chicken pasta parmesan. It kind of smells like Chef Boyardee pasta. It looks like a shell pasta. Very soft. So there's a piece of the chicken. It looks like chunk chicken that you might find in USMREs, or you get the chunk chicken out of a can. So it definitely has texture to it. The pasta is very, very soft. But the flavor is pretty good. It could use a little bit more of the parmesan flavor, but I can taste the herbs in it. But it's actually pretty good. It seems like this company's starting to step up their entree game a little bit. This and That with Matt is here. DeCarlos Perry is here. I'm just scrolling back through the chat to see if I missed anybody. It looks like I'm prepping life is here. My Iowa brother. It looks like I'm all caught up on who has come in here. But thanks for dropping in. So this is that behemoth that I got delivered. I think I've had it for not quite a month, maybe a couple of weeks or so. But this is one of Chef 5 Minute Meal's newest emergency civilian rations. But as in their past meals, no drink option of any kind. And you get, instead of a cracker, you get this humongous granola bar. So I just dug out a Canadian Ice sports drink and a French coffee. You get the same single tortilla, and this is the strawberry grape jelly combination. The tortilla tastes a lot fresher. It is newer. The pumpkin is sleeping somewhere. She's in one of what I call her flopping moods. But right now she's sleeping. Yeah, the chicken is actually not too dry. Sometimes the chicken in these can be a bit dry, but this one doesn't seem that way. This is labeled as a meal replacement bar, apple cinnamon flavor. It doesn't taste all that different from your average granola bar. Yeah, thanks for dropping in, Marilyn. Hope you feel better soon. For those that have just come in, Marilyn just got out of the hospital. So she's back home, or she'll be able to recover more comfortably. And Claude comes in. Thanks for dropping in. Yeah, if you have or you get any of this, whether it's the 72-hour or a single day or just the single meals, right now they do not have any drink options. I guess if these are ever issued in disaster areas, that the person would just be given a bottle of water. Or they have to fill up a container with water for their personal use, depending on the situation. But this is not a very high calorie 3-day, I'll call it just a civilian ration. So less than 4,000 calories. For everything that's in here. LC is here. Thanks for dropping in. But in some, if this is all that you have, that's, at least it will keep you alive. But because this is wet pack, you would not want to leave this in a vehicle during the summer, because it would just get too hot and it might compromise the quality of the food. And in the winter it would freeze. And there is LC dropping that super chat. Now, just a chill weekend here. I did go out and do some stuff yesterday. I had to Friday, it was downright nasty. When I left the mosque, it had started raining, and I got into the bus stop, and just as soon as I parked my dupe on a seat, it started hailing. But that was brief. It didn't last very long, but I got in the bus just in time. But it was a very nice, albeit warm day today. It got up to 89 Fahrenheit. That's probably low 30s Celsius. So I went ahead and watered my plants before I started to set up for this stream. Well, thanks for dropping in. He's got to go do the dad thing. And he lives right here in Iowa. His life has been crazy, so he hasn't been able to put out any videos on his channel. And there's Pumpkin. There's Pumpkin. Pumpkin. Come here, Pumpkin. Come here, Pumpkin. He's that silly little torty girl. There you go. There's a look at Pumpkin. I'll put you back up in here. She's going to get behind me. But yeah, that's Pumpkin. She's 4 years old. I've had her for, it'll be 2 years in August. I don't tell you, when she purrs, it sounds like she's got a motor running. And I still call her Johnny's girl, even though she lives with me. Yep. She definitely has some unusual markings. Like the hair around one eye is almost gray. Or the hair around the other eye is more brownish. It's like a straight line of black down from, I would call her forehead down to the tip of her nose. There's Chance in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Or Sharon, sorry. But this is that big monster of a civilian 3-day emergency food kit. that I got from Chef 5 Minute Meals. This is one of their newer offerings. This is a pasta parmesan. It's a shell pasta. Which is very soft. But the sauce has a very good flavor. It doesn't taste like an overly sweet Chef Boyardee sauce. Although I'm not picking up much of the Parmesan flavor. But you can definitely tell it's real chicken. This one came with 6 flameless ration heaters with included water packets that are treated with something to help the ration heater kick off. So it is not drinkable water. They just call it activation or activator. And you get 6 sporks, napkins of salt and pepper, but you get 3. Now you would have to save 1 per day, I suppose, because you get the same oatmeal with latte, which basically means like a creamer or a milk type powder, as in their previous meals. You get the same tortilla, the same apple grape combination jelly, no crackers, but you get this humongous granola bar, which they label as a meal replacement bar. But as in their other meals that I have had and that others have done, no drink option of any kind. So I just dug some out of my stash. I got a Canadian ice and a French coffee that I added my own creamer and sugar to. So the other 2 entrees in here, let's see, I'm going to pull them. So I got beef chili with beans, and you got spaghetti with meatballs and sauce. So you get 2 of each of these entrees, including 2 of the pasta parmesan. You get 6 tortillas, so you'd have a tortilla with your lunch, tortilla with your dinner, and I suppose you would either eat this for breakfast along with that cereal or as a snack. And that is it, nothing else. So because I have doubles, I'm obviously not going to be doing 6 reviews. I'm just going to be having 1 of each, but I will do lives on the other 2. The duplicates I will either save for if I want to add them to other things, or maybe like a meal at home, just quick. Or I could take it camping and I could put it into my small, one of my small camp cook pots, and boil it over a fire over a camp stove. Either that, or I take one of my flameless ration heaters. And then all of the sporks and things like that, I save all those. They'll go into my emergency stash. But this bag is so big, even with the top cut off, I could put the tray inside it. The only thing is, when you cut the top off of the bag, you lose the carry handle. So if you use it to contain the rest of the stuff that you have not eaten yet, then you would have to find another way to seal it or put it in a Ziploc bag or something like that. See, here shows a picture of some Parmesan cheese put on the top of the spaghetti and meatballs. Maybe some parsley thrown on there. So this is jazzed up for this picture. But instead of throwing this huge bag away, I may just fold it up and stick it somewhere. And I could use it as like a trash bag for camp or something like that. So I definitely will do that. I'll save that bag. His tortillas taste so much better when they're fresh. It's also, this bag is also big enough you could actually use it. Say you're in camp and you need to lay something down, say while you're setting up your tent or your hammock or your tarp or whatever you're using for shelter. but the ground is wet, you could use this bag to lay all that stuff down on that you'll be picking up during the setup process. Or you could use it in, you got something dirty that you want to pack out, but you don't want it to get something else in your pack dirty. You could put it inside here, maybe roll it up, then call that good. Of course, in a pinch, you could carry water in it. You know, to bring back to camp, you would have to transfer to something else because it wouldn't stand up very well. But if you had several other containers to fill from that, you could do that. But this apple cinnamon granola bar, it actually tastes pretty good. It's a chewy one, so it's easy to eat. You don't have to ruin your dental work to eat it. They kind of remind me of a Nature Valley chew a granola bar, just bigger. Yeah, it is, Elsie. It's annoying when things like that get screwed up. And it's even worse if they don't want to do anything about it. You know, what if you had to order something for someone who cannot eat any kind of dairy, milk or cheese or whatever? Then they get something that has cheese in it. They can't eat that food. Yeah, it's annoying when things like that get screwed up. So either they just don't know what they're doing, they're grossly understaffed, yeah, that is nuts. I would definitely be complaining to, if it's a chain, I would complain to corporate about that one. That's a good thing she's learning that, and she'll learn how to make appropriate adjustments as she gets older. Now that's nuts. You try to scrape the cheese off, you can't get it all off. I would definitely not be going there again. For those that came in late, Marilyn dropped in for a bit. She is home from the hospital, for those that did not know that yet. So she is recovering at home. So she could use your thoughts and prayers while she continues her recovery. And having to deal with this thing that's given her fits. Yeah, so she has to stay away from rations for the time being until she gets her health sorted out, and I'll just leave it at that. But she could definitely use your thoughts and prayers, and I'll tell you, you've been in the hospital for a long enough time, you'll be so glad you're in your own bed. I've never been in for more than a week. But for those that have been in longer, and Smokey could tell you about how long he has been in the hospital. But even if you're in there for a few days, you get back in your own home. I mean, that's enough to make you feel better already. Now, you don't have people turning your light on, poking and prodding you 2 or 3 times in the night. Yeah, they suck, especially if they don't treat you very well. Wow. Now that is a long time. I think you got Smokey beat on that one. Yeah, my high school, one of my best friends in high school, after she got diagnosed with diabetes, they didn't take into consideration that she's blind. A nurse who shouldn't have been a nurse gave her a syringe and an orange and just said practice. Did not show her how to do it in a way that my friend could put her hands over the nurses to see how to even operate a syringe. And being blind, she wouldn't be able to know how to load it properly to find out how much insulin she's got in it, whether she drew enough or not, or too much, from the vial. But she got one of the first uh, insulin injection pen syringes. You stick a cartridge in it, and then each click is 2 units. It obviously improved them much greatly since then. When she first started using one of those, she would count the clicks and just double that to know how many units she was going to shoot into herself. But to have some idiot hand you something that you cannot even see what it looks like and just said practice, no. Because this was way back in the 80s. But thanks for dropping in, Mike. That was an interesting video of that Aussie cadet ration. I enjoyed watching that. The drink mix in that ration that he opened up was messed up, so he couldn't even use it. So he did what I did. He got an ice. And he got a coffee to go along with it. But if you haven't seen that video of that Aussie Hunger Buster cadet ration, it's worth a look. Next Sunday, I will not be live. There is a group that's meeting at the mosque and they want dinner, so I will be helping out with that. But if Smokey does not go live next Saturday, then I'll take his slot. So we'll just see how that plays out. Mike did. So you have to go. Yeah, he put that up today, in fact. So it's a 24-hour ration, but it's not as big as your standard CR1M or PR1M. It did not have all of the components that either of those do. So it would probably be equivalent to one of the French exercise rations or the US Totem times 3. Because that one, it's a 24-hour ration, so you get a full day's worth of food in it. Just not as much as your standard CR1M or PR1M. Yeah, it's hit or miss with the notifications. What has helped some people in the past, and it's helped me too, is I would unsubscribe from a channel, then resubscribe, and then hit that notification bell again. Of course, doing all notifications. And sometimes that takes care of the problem. And sometimes people get a notification, but it's late. So that might be something worth trying. Yeah, it might work or it might not. But it's worth a shot anyway. Well, I hope you can get one of those. Mike initially got it from Pete Reviews, who is in Australia. But then he traded or with someone else for something different, but then that other guy didn't eat that ration yet, so Mike bought it back from that guy that he had traded it to. So he was able to do a video on that today. But Sharon, if you can get a hold of that, I think it'd be pretty awesome to try out, especially if they're different menus. It didn't look like the card that Mike had in his, didn't look like it had any listings of various menu options. It just had the nutritional stuff for all of the components, plus a list of the contents. Unlike the CR1M or PR1M, where you get a list of all of the menus. A PR1M is definitely something I would love to get my paws on. Yeah. Yeah, that would have been the same one to Carlos if it said Hunger Buster. Yeah, that's an Aussie Cadet ration. So they look like they're pretty good. Although Mike did add salt to his mashed potatoes. He felt that they needed salt. I would have saved the salt for another day and thrown some of that Vegemite in there. But it did look like a pretty good ration. I would definitely go for one of those. Yeah, it probably, sometimes they make them a bit bland on purpose. And the pasta parmesan in this one that I ate, I did not pick up much of the parmesan taste. It just tasted like pasta and marinara sauce with chicken. Cliff, you can order it on Amazon. You can also get Marmite, which is very similar, but it is made in, I think, Ireland. I would have to look at my jar. No, the Vegemite and Marmite are both very, very salty. There is a slight difference in the flavor between the two. There are a couple of different ingredients, or the ratio of ingredients is different between the two. I did a video a few years ago comparing the two, and I just put it on the pilot crackers, the pilot bread crackers. They were bland enough that I could get the full flavor of the Vegemite and the Marmite. But that was a few years ago when I did that. But it was very interesting, and I like both of them. That would be a little strange. I think Andrew Zimmer would go for something like that. I think that would be up his alley. After all, he used to have a show called Bizarre Foods. And when I had cable or satellite TV service, I watched that. And he got into some really unique things. But I haven't had TV service for probably like 12 years. Oh, wow. I think that would be good, Sharon. That chicken with Vegemite stuffing. I think that would be good. Unfortunately, I would have to try to duplicate that here in my own kitchen if I wanted something like that, because can't get that here in Iowa. I've almost got this thing gone. There's James Ortiz in the house. Here is the best buy date on this. 25. But I'm going to have it long gone before then. So, James, I got into this behemoth. This bag is so big I could put my tray in it. James, you miss Marilyn. She dropped in for a bit. I had the chicken pasta parmesan. And then the other two entrees in here. Spaghetti with meatballs and beef chili with beans. These are 9-ounce servings. Gusseted pouches. But because these entrees duplicate, it's only going to get 3 reviews instead of 6. And for breakfast, they have that same granola or that oatmeal. Let's see. This instant granola cereal with latte. Let me get the focus back. So this is the same. This has not changed. And you get the same apple grape jelly combination. You get a single tortilla per meal, but only 3 jellies, not 6. You get 6 tortillas in this pack. You get 6 sporks. I don't know if that's intentional or they just forgot the other 3 because you get 9 meals. And this is, actually I'll pull an unopened one. They call this the Grand Canyon bar. There's their logo on it. They call it a meal replacement bar. It's basically a granola bar on steroids. And that's actually pretty good. This tastes pretty good. Yeah. Oh, and this is the spaghetti and meatballs that they show on the bag, and they show with Parmesan cheese sprinkled on top. Obviously, you don't get Parmesan cheese packets. There's no pepper flake for the chili. No, this is pretty fresh. So I could not pick up any of that. I did not get much of the Parmesan cheese taste in the sauce as on the chicken, but I could taste the herb flavor. The pasta is quite soft, but it didn't completely dissolve in my mouth. I mean, they use a shell pasta, and that kind of pasta really holds on to the sauce. But good-sized chunks of chicken, You don't get the cream cracker. You get this instead, this monster granola bar. And because this has a Best Buy of 2025, this is fairly fresh. It doesn't have a production date on it, but the fact that it has a Best Buy of June of 25, it's probably between 6 months to probably about 6 months old, I'm guessing. Could be older than that, I'm not sure. But and no drink option of any kind. You get 6 of those big flameless ration heaters with the water packets. This is afternoon snack, the Grand Canyon bar. But these are, because you get 2 of each entree, you just kind of mix it up when you eat them. It does have visual instructions on how to use the FRH. I would definitely like to try some of their other new offerings. I used, during Ramadan, when I had my breakfast very, very early before first light, I actually used these as part of my breakfast. So these came in very handy for that. But I treated it like any other cold cereal. I just put some milk on it and called it good. It's one of someone's message got deleted and I can't open it up. Oh well. It says he was timed out for 300 seconds. That's roughly 5 minutes. Yeah. Yep. Spicy, that was an oops. That was not meant to happen. I can't open that deleted message, so just call that an oops. We've all done that. And sometimes when the chat gets jumpy, if you intend to do that to someone else, but the chat jumps and you end up either timing out the wrong person or deleting the wrong person's comment or booting the wrong person out. Because it takes me a little while, because I watch on my Kindle, and sometimes my chat can be a little slower, my connection can be a little slow. I usually let other mods take care of those things, and if it's something that anyone, mod or otherwise, can report, then I would just do that. And I just leave it at that. Unless I'm the only mod in the chat. But oh, there we go. Oh, basically, there's. Oh, I was able to see that. Just said LC is like elongated. That's all that deleted comment was. And then LC dropped a super chat again, apologizing. So thanks for dropping that additional super chat. You didn't have to do that. But that timeout, see, I don't know if. Nope, a timeout cannot be undone once it's started. Unfortunately. So if you time out the wrong person, you can't undo that. But at least it was a timeout and not actually getting hidden or booted from the chat. So now I would have to try to fix that. So I'm sure he will comment when that timeout ends, I'm pretty sure. So Spicy, when that timeout ends, you can go ahead and just drop a comment saying that the timeout has ended. In fact, a few years ago, I let a new mod put me in timeout as a practice just to see how it worked. And then when the timeout ended, I dropped a comment on what I was able to do and what I was not able to do. Like, you can stay in the chat, you can read the chat, you can still watch and listen to the stream or video. You just can't drop anything in the chat until the timeout ends. And so when my timeout ended, that's what I put in a comment, just so that new mod knew more or less how it worked. So it's basically a 5-minute timeout. And for those that came in late, next Sunday I will not be going live because there is an event at my mosque, and I've been asked to help prepare the meal for that, so I will be there for that. It's supposed to start around 5 o'clock or so, or just after the afternoon prayer. And so I probably won't get home till the time I would normally be finishing my stream, if not later. So I will either take a Saturday spot. If Smokey doesn't go live next Saturday, I would take his spot. Or maybe if he is going to go live, I could do an earlier one. Yeah, I was just saying Saturday earlier, I could do that. It just, I would have to kind of know in advance when Smokey would be going live. Yeah, he did not go live yesterday because he was busy with other stuff. Well, Spicy made good use of that timeout. So I'll figure that one out. There's Chicago in the house. Thanks for dropping in. I've eaten all the food. But this is that big monster that I opened up. And that bag is still that big, even with the top cut off. Let's see. See just the other. Nope, that's not it. Oh, just knocked my water bottle over. Here we go. This is an entree I had tonight. So this is the second one of these. So this pack gave you 2 of this chicken pasta parmesan, 3 of these granola cereals, 6 tortillas, and the spaghetti and meatballs is what's shown on the bag. So you get 2 of these. And then two of the beef chili with beans. And you get 2, total of 3 of these Grand Canyon bars, which are basically granola bars on steroids. This is apple cinnamon flavor. This would be like 2.5 of those Nature Valley granola bars, or 3 of those little Quaker Chewy granola bars. There is Go Fish Office. I am not familiar with that name. I don't know who. I don't know who would change the channel to Go Fish. Must be a cousin of Spicy Tuna Rolls. But anyway, thanks for dropping in. I've eaten all the food. So, no drink option of any kind. I got them from my stash. The ice sports drink from Canada. A French coffee that I added creamer and sugar to. You get 3 of the apple grape jelly combo packets. Now, although you get 6 pouches or 9 pouches of food, it only gives you 6 sporks. And you get 6 flameless ration heaters plus the water packets. These are the same ones that they've used before. These super long bags. And it says activator, so it's it's water with some chemical added to help the ration heater kick off. So you get 6 of these. To make up a 72-hour emergency meal kit. Yeah, Mike Crusher put out one today on one of those Australian Hunger Buster cadet rations. The same type one that DeCarlos did a video on some time back. You would have to dig into his video library to see what he had in his. But Mike Crusher opened up a Hunger Buster ration and put that up today. So if you haven't seen that one's worth a look. Well, the chicken pasta parmesan, I did not taste much of the parmesan, but it tasted like a pretty good marinara. Definitely not Chef Boyardee. It's better than that. The pasta is a shell pasta. It's soft, but it didn't completely disintegrate. And the chicken was not too dry. It was chunk chicken, but it was not too dry. Sorry about that brief disconnect. But that one, I'll enjoy eating that one again. Although next time I'll add a bit of my own Parmesan cheese to it. the spaghetti with meatballs. The meatballs, I felt one. It's about the size of like a small grape, about the size of what you'll get in SpaghettiOs with meatballs, or the canned spaghetti with meatballs. Yeah, they're really small. But the tortilla tasted nice and fresh. And that Monster granola bar is actually pretty good. It's a chewy granola bar. I would put this one up there with the Nature Valley granola bars. This is probably equivalent to 3 of those little Quaker chewy granola bars, or the Sunbelt ones. This is a 2.65 ounce bar. So definitely bigger than your average, those other granola bars. But it's got good flavor. It doesn't taste like you're eating a chewable vitamin. Yeah, real. Let's see. A real poutine is definitely a treat. There's a restaurant down here that sells it, but I've only been in there once, and I got the poutine. And it was really good. It put strips of roast beef in the gravy with the cheese curds. That was some good stuff. That model sounds like it's pretty intricate. I'm guessing it is. If that one is so far a 2-person project. Well, if you at least can get to some of the northern U.S. states, or maybe find a Canadian community down under, might have a either small cafe or a food truck that would have poutine. I've had the IMP version. It's nowhere near up there with the real thing. But once you have the real deal, there's no one going back. Yeah, I have a friend who lives there in London. And there are definitely some good poutine places there in London. So you should have no trouble finding it. Yeah, my friend up there has had some bad poutine, but she's had more good than bad. A place down here in Des Moines, Iowa, that has it is called the Library Cafe. Oh, I bet that was awesome. If I did nothing else up there in London, I would be hitting that place. I don't know of any other place here in Des Moines that serves poutine besides a Library Cafe. But maybe one of these nights when I got a little extra cash and I got nothing better to do, I just might take a bus on over there. Yeah, I am in Des Moines, Iowa. I was actually born in Omaha, Nebraska, but I flip flopped between Nebraska and Iowa in my youth. And then after high school, I went to Arkansas for a few years, but I missed Iowa, so after I finished school down there, I came back here. But while I was down in Arkansas, I got a chance to go to a city in Mexico called Guadalajara in the state of Jalisco. So I was there for a month, with the exception of one weekend where we went to Mexico City. And we were down there the summer after the '85 earthquake, so I got to see some of the damage in Mexico City. Well, keep on coming a little farther south, and you can hit Des Moines and go to the Library Cafe, and you can have poutine there. It's on University Avenue, just past the Drake University campus. Yeah, the house that I stayed in while I was down there had some med students who are also there. There's a woman from Mexico City who was staying in that house, plus some other Americans, and for a while there were a couple of Bolivians who were there, also attending one of the colleges in Guadalajara, and this house is owned by a couple that decided to rent it out to visiting students after their kids had grown up and moved out. So instead of selling it and downsizing, they just decided to keep it and earn some pesos off of visiting students who need some short-term housing. So that's where I stayed. I just had to go around just go to the end of the block to hop a bus, and I could go anywhere else in the city that I needed or wanted to go to. Yeah, The Library Cafe is the only place I know of in Des Moines that sells poutine. But it was very, very good. It definitely steps above what you get from an IMP. I enjoyed that one, but it was nowhere near the real poutine. My air conditioner kicking back on. So is this a countdown to what? I didn't see that. They're just acting silly. Since there's no more food to look at and I've finished off my ice drink, I didn't get a whole lot of food with these meals. But I'm actually okay with it. You know, I got to try one of the new offerings. So I will get back into this in future weeks. I'm not sure if I will do 3 in a row out of this, or if I will do something different in between. I got a couple of MREs, and I have another Minotaur Arctic field ration I can open up. And I ordered something from Amory Mountains, so I am waiting for that to come in. And no, I did not try to order that same RCIR that I have had rated twice. Well, when you only get three 3,555 calories for the entire bag, it's not a whole lot of food. But considering what it would be used for, there's multi-magnum in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Yeah, if these are given out as disaster relief rations, not unlike the humanitarian daily ration in the salmon pink bag, but and flavor-wise, this is definitely a step above that. But unlike the HDR, you get this monster flameless ration heater with the included water bag. So this pack gives you 6 of these things. So there are 2 more of these monster-sized granola bars. Apple cinnamon. Got 6 tortillas, but only 3 apple grape blend jelly packets. You get that granola cereal with latte, 3 of those. 6 sporks. There's a napkin, salt and pepper in each one of those. 6, not 9. But you got 2 of each of the entrees, the beef chili, the spaghetti with meatballs like shown on the bag, and chicken pasta parmesan. So there's 1 more of that, and then I have 2 of these, 2 of the spaghettis. So I will open up 1 of each of these other 2. And then the duplicates will just stay here either as a quick fill-in meal, or if I need to take some food with me somewhere and I will be able to boil it or use an FRH, I would do that. But the little accessory packets with the spork, the napkin, the salt and pepper, I will empty those out. The sporks are going to a bag where I have my other plastic forks, and then the salt and pepper packets I put into a Ziploc bag in my camping food bag, and then I have a bag that I put any napkins in that I get out of rations. So those get added to my emergency stash. Yeah, that autocorrect can be annoying, especially if it does it before you're able to catch it, and and you've sent that bit of text already, or it's happened where it doesn't like it if you try to change it. Like a previous phone that I've used, it would not let me put the name of my city and then keep on typing before I would send that bit of text. I would have to type all I want and then make the correction and then hit send while my cursor is still in that area where the name Des Moines is in, and then it would stay as it's supposed to be and not change to something completely different. Oh yeah, that's bad. I still have my old Samsung Galaxy S5, which I used to use for my streaming, but once I started using this Revo 5G, I'm not going back. That one doesn't have service on it, but I still have some apps on it. I would like to upgrade it as a backup. But when I tried, I can't put the old SIM card in it. There's Garden State Gardener in the house. Thanks for dropping in. See that little thing beside his name or beside his wrench? That means he is a member of my channel. So he has a stream starting at 7 p.m. Eastern or 6 Central. He calls it Sunday Fun Day, and that usually lasts 2 hours. So I kick out before the second half of his stream starts, and that's usually when he is giving away his prizes. Maybe some packets of seeds or some other little things. So I don't win anything off of him. But I am a member of his channel. No, you can't put yourself in timeout. But a while back, I sent a whole bunch of packets of Genevieve's basil seeds to give away. I picked up a whole bunch of them from last year's multicultural powwow when they were doing the gift thing at the end, and no one had picked up this bag full of seed packets, so I grabbed them all. And so I had been sharing those out. So I sent some to Homestead Tessie as a little extra, along with a little gift that I also picked up from there. A little tiny metal bucket that has a rabbit that kind of reminds you of Peter Rabbit. She likes Peter Rabbit, anything close to that. So I thought that little bucket was cute, so I sent that. I told her about that, but I did not tell her about the seeds. Those are just a little extra goodie. And then I sent some to Garden State Gardener, and then Disabled and Prepping. She shares seeds with 2 community gardens in her city. So I sent her 3 packets. One she could keep for herself. And now she has one of those little arrow garden things that she can put seeds in. Then the other 2 packets she would give to the community gardens so that whoever maintains those can grow that basil. And of course I kept a few packets for myself. So I sent, because Garden State Gardener, he is Polish just like I am. I found Mrs. T's pierogi ornament on the eBay. I had to send it to him just for the heck of it. So he's got that. He loves his pierogis just like I do. I don't get them all the time, but once in a while I have to get some pierogis. John Zemery in the house. Thanks for dropping in. I've eaten all the food, but this is that monster bag I got from Chef 5 Minute Meals. This thing is so big I could put the tray in it, or I could put the cat in it. If she would allow it, but I won't do that to her. But I had the chicken pasta parmesan, but it lacked the parmesan taste. But when I eat the other pouch of it, I'll throw some parmesan on it. I have to get some first because I'm out. Well, LC, you didn't have to drop that third super chat, but thanks for doing it. I don't know how it is on an iPhone, but I think below a video, there is a way you can look for join. It, de- it might be on my channel homepage because I've never messed with an iPhone of any kind. I don't know how that works. I've only used Androids. So I don't know how it works on a mobile device. The other option I could think of is if you go open YouTube in a browser instead of using the app, you might be able to go at it that way. I'm not sure if it works only in, say, the desktop version of the site or in the mobile version of the site. I use desktop version of the site on my Kindle because I found you can't do as much on the mobile version of the site, but now the Silk browser wants to always default to the mobile version of the site if you're away from it for a while or the tablet goes to sleep. Or you first open the browser and go to the YouTube, it always defaults to mobile version. And I sent feedback letting them know how I don't like that. It didn't used to do that. It always defaulted to the last version of the site that I used, which is a desktop version. Yeah, CT was in here. And well, also a current channel member can toss out a gift membership. That's how I became a member of a couple of channels by hitting on the gift, and then I just kept renewing it. But I'm only going to be a member of 4 channels right now. Yeah, I haven't done anything on. I guess the other name is just like a backup, and then I have a channel that I used to. I haven't done anything with that for a while, but I have a lot of Islam related stuff. I do have some other stuff where I've been to protests and things like that. There's Garden State Gardener. Just dropped a super chat. Thanks for doing that. That's much appreciated. Yeah, he was in here earlier, but then he had to haul tail somewhere. Then my Iowa brother, Prepping Life, who used to be known as Jeep Things Outdoors, he was in here for a little while, but he hasn't done any videos for a while either because, life happens. And that's how I got Pumpkin, was he brought her to me. When he had to move his family to a new apartment after the last one had to be gutted by the landlord because of black mold and leaks and all kinds of crap. Literally had to gut the place down to the studs. So where they moved to, they could only have one cat. So they decided to bring Pumpkin to me. So she was 2 years old when I got her. So I'm guessing she's 4 years old by now. Uh, yeah, Elsie is on an iPhone, so it may be different. I also suggested going to a browser and opening up a YouTube site. And if you can switch to desktop version, it may look smaller. You might have to kind of do the reverse pinch to blow it up. But that's another way to go about it. Yeah, I don't know how iPhone works since I've never used one. My sisters have them, and when my mom needed an upgrade of her phone, one of my sisters gave her her old phone after she upgraded to a newer version. So I think my mom's is an iPhone. She has an app on that she can use to control her hearing aid volume and check the battery level in her hearing aids. Yeah, so there's something different about how it works on the iPhone as opposed to Android. So so going to the actual browser and opening up YouTube, and that may be the best option. But in order to get a gift membership, you have to enable acceptance of gifts on YouTube. When you first accept a gift membership or something like that, you have to enable accepting of gifts, and then once you do that, it's automatic. You don't have to enable that every time. But thanks for dropping in, John Zemery. So, and for those that did come in even most recently, I will not be on here at this time slot next Sunday because I have an event at the mosque, which starts probably. Well, the meal will be served after the afternoon prayer, which may be about 5:30, 5:45, something like that. And I will stay as long as it takes to clean up. And then someone will give me a ride home because buses don't run late on Sundays here. But I help out with almost all of the community meals at the mosque unless I'm out of town. Or I have a family thing that I give top priority to. But I will either take Smokey's time slot or early my usual time slot, but on Saturday if Smokey doesn't go live, or if he goes live in his usual spot, then I'll jump on before him, but had to figure that out far enough in advance so I can plan accordingly. Is when he did a Sunday stream, it's a couple Sundays ago, I actually jumped on before he did. Well, I'd say, well, even though I could not taste much of the Parmesan flavor, that chicken pasta was actually pretty good. And it was nice that the tortilla tasted fresh and not like it's been around a few years. You know, the granola, the granola bar, that's pretty good. It does not taste like you're eating a meal replacement bar or like an edible vitamin supplement. Like some of them can taste like you're eating nothing but supplement. Yeah, but this has a best by date of June of 25, so this one is probably no more than a year old. In fact, I'll look on these pouches. Used to not have the best by date on them at all. But now it does. And if you lose the label on the front, it has what the item is on this back side here. So that's nice that they added this on the back side of the pouch. That way, if you lose the label or the label's upside down, you can still see it. And the label on that chicken pasta stood up to the boiling. It did not dissolve or fall off or anything. Yeah, I would agree on the IMP poutine. Yeah, I enjoyed it, but it's nothing compared to the real deal. Well, thanks for dropping in. Joe, Garden State Gardener. He did a garden update on the progress of planting his huge garden. He still has more work to do, but considering last year he couldn't do much at all because of an injury, where he had to have surgery. He's bounced back. He's back at it. He's getting it done. Well, thanks for dropping in, Sharon. And I could say good morning to you since you're on the other side of the planet. But I will probably go ahead and call this one done anyways. So I can go ahead and get this stuff put away and cleaned up. And what I'll do with the title is, or I'll put the description, I'll put the entree that I ate in there, so when people watch the replay, they can see what it is. But anyway, again, thanks to LC and Joe for dropping the super chat. So anyway, see you next weekend, whether it could be Saturday or who knows. Anyway, thanks for watching and catch you on the flip side.